What up, people? We'll just pretend we didn't have a 4-month hiatus or whatever it's been, but we're back out here on the bike build. So what I just worked on and what we're finishing up here is we've got the glazing putty now applied to the front of the fairings, which basically just smooths out all the tiny like pinholes and stuff. It's this stuff right here, little glazing and spot putty. Smeared her on, gave her a nice sand, and now she's smooth and ready enough for paint. This is definitely, I don't think this would pass a professional's standard. Like if I paid for this, I'd be kind of like, hey man, there's a couple spots you should pick up. But it's a race bike, so alas. Previously I did put on the exhaust, which I filmed and then kind of lost steam because half the film didn't have audio. I didn't want to redo it, so it's there. But I do need to make an exhaust bracket, which I think I have some clever plans that could be really cool, or it's going to be something that looks a little shiesty. But ideally it'd be super cool. We'll see. You'll get an update for that one as we work on it. On the other side, we have completed the 415 chain conversion, I think. 415 it is. So it's the lightweight chain. It actually is crazy how much weight that shed. I'll edit in the clip of me weighing it if that clip has audio, which sucks because I weighed the before and after on the exhaust and the chain. If I remember correctly, I want to say that the two of those were shedding like, I want to say it was like close to 20 between the two of them. The chain was way, way more than I thought, the chain and sprockets. The exhaust was decent, but not super crazy. Anyway, that number's probably wrong, but the bike is getting lighter and lighter every time we touch it. So what we're going to be doing today, or continuing to do, is I'm removing this, and then I'm going to pull the air box out, and we are working on getting my... oh, I put it right under here. My new fancy schmancy ECU will be somewhere in here. I don't exactly know how that's going to go yet, but I will be figuring it out. Anyway, check back in a minute. So update on the airbox removal, because this is actually way more frustrating than I thought it was going to be. And I know these aren't tutorials, but I'm going to point it out anyway in case anybody finds this. So these guys come out, little bushing on there. And then you have a couple of breather and drain hoses. So you have this one that comes off of the front of the cylinder head. You can see right there, right? And then I left it attached to the air box. And then there's also the water drain, which was, it's under here. You can't really see it, but that's the drain pipe disconnected. It just goes vertically out to drain the water. And then the last one that I missed, because potentially I'm just a little dumb, is there's a bolt under here, and that guy is a huge pain to take out or to loosen because it's not, the bolt doesn't come out. It's one of these stupid, I don't know, rubberized guys with threads coming out of the front, so it doesn't feel like it's coming out at all. I found the right way to do it was to actually pull up onto the airbox while loosening it, and then it came out good enough. But yeah, and then obviously the clamp to the throttle body right there, that's, you know, on the intake runner, that's pretty standard. And then we just pulled this out like so. Bada bing, bada boom. Airbox can go over here. Other parts. Anyway, check back in a little bit. Airbox is out. And we've continued here. So I just did the EVAP canister delete. It's right here, or it would be right here, right? And that would be the valve. And then there's the smog box, which is mounted down there. Yeah, you would be seeing it, but it's gone, and some lines. And then I just went ahead and made a new tank vent line, because that's all we need from there. And then a nice little caparoonie right there. Yeah, and so now we're working on getting the Rapidbike harness installed. So, oh, and I guess I should say, this EVAP canister delete, you can get dongles that'll avoid the FI check engine light on it, but I will be just seeing if I can DIY that by just ohming out the canister in an off state like it is right now without the bike on, and then just build a little resistor mount thing that will go in here and trick the computer into thinking it's still there. And then we'll be good, and I won't have to spend $30 on that because resistors are a lot cheaper than 30 bucks. Anyway, so Rapidbike EVO. We got main ECU connector back there like so. And then everything else, I was looking for instructions and I couldn't find much, but everything else is just labeled. So like this is O2 sensor, and it's a bridge that goes in the O2 sensor, crank sensor, what else we got? There's like an injector, 12 volt power, injector 1. This ground, I don't really know what that does. Oh, I guess TPS, look, it says that right there. Look at me. I'll figure out how to put that on and then probably update you when I figure that out. And then, yeah, everything else over here, same thing, right? Auxiliary in, USB. I'm gonna guess that these are for tuning of some kind. CAN bus. Yeah, I don't think that that is part of the OEM harness, but it might be. I don't really know till I try it. Yeah, anyway, I'll update you when it's in there. So wiring harness mostly installed, just like that, so easy. So 12 volt supply I've got to this one that I for some reason labeled rear brake, but I assume that that is correct because the rear brake is always powered as soon as ignition is on. Actually kind of a clever idea. And then you've got this guy down here, which is the crank position sensor. This connector was zip tied over here somewhere. And then over here you have the O2 sensor connector. So it splices in, it was right in there, and then disconnect it, reconnect it with the EVO harness spliced in. The injector plug, same story. Now the last one that is a little confusing is the TPS connection. So this is the throttle position sensor. And so it connects to the throttle position sensor plug, right there. So take that off, pull your wire foreskin back, and then this wire, the green and yellow, you need to splice that TPS sensor into there so that the Rapid bike will know where the throttle position is. Now, the way that they have this in the kit is they have this little thing. So it was like, try to show you. So it was like this, with this slotted one on the bottom, and then this red one at the top of the hole. So the way that they designed this to be used, I've never used one of these because I don't like them. So you're supposed to strip this wire back. All right. Let's put the thing on. You'd strip the wire, you'd shove it in there, and then you would use this to tighten it down to sort of clamp the wire in there, okay? The other end of the connection, you would take this guy that has the split, you would slip it over like so, and then you would tighten it with the stabby pin going into the wire. That way you're stabbing in to get the signal from stabby bit, right? And then transfer that into the EVO on this end. That kind of stuff sucks. Vampire connectors are not good because you can risk snapping the wire, damaging the wire, your connection to the wire being the one that you're splicing into, so in this case the TPS wire. You have no guarantee that your connection is going to be good because you could have like cut half the wires while you're in there. Also, this top end, God knows if that thing's going to be connected correctly. So what I'm going to be doing is is using some of these heat shrink butt slice connectors. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip this wire. We're going to cut this wire, strip both ends. This wire is going to get wrapped around this end, or it could be the other end, doesn't really matter. and then this wire's, so these two are gonna be round together, and they're gonna be put into this side, and then the other wire is gonna be put into this side. They're both gonna come past this piece of solder that's in here, and then we heat shrink it. These little glue pockets glue on the wires so they're solid, and then you heat it until this solder melts, which then solders the wire together. Way more solid. Some people worry about these because of like heat in the application could technically melt the solder or the outside, but it's not gonna get that hot. It'll be good. So this is the way. So here it is set up. You can see stripped wires rolled together, stripped wire, both of them past the solder. So when the solder melts, it'll bond them. I'll see if I can set up my phone so you guys can watch this happen. So now you can see the glue is melted, gluing the wires on both ends, right? That's that like waterproofing glue. And then the solder is melted. Honestly, this isn't that good because my main heat gun actually crapped out on me the first time I shot this. So I'm using this tiny one. It kind of sucks. But either way, it'll work. Definitely better than a vampire connector. You can see all that solder flowed in there. Yeah, so good to go. And you can test it. Give a little pull test. She's good. All right, so we've done our preliminary wire management, the airbox all back in and stuff. That's where this video is going to end. We'll get you on next episode where I've now decided that I was debating whether or not I wanted to actually redo the primary engine harness or bike harness, whatever you want to call it. Not necessarily redo, but just like strip off all the bullshit that's not part of a race bike. And after getting deeper in here, I think I'm going to. One of the big catalysts was that on the Rapidbike, the 12-volt supply here, the connector that I had it to, this is not right. It's the only one I could find that's the right connector for this to plug into, but the brown wire is a constant 12 volts, and this blue wire is the, it's like the brake switch. That's your actual like brake high signal. That's the high 12 volts that only comes on when you engage the brakes. Here's the connector I chopped off, right? And just after figuring that out, and I didn't like where this stretch is, I think I'm gonna go through and take the time to actually make this harness the way I want it to be on this bike. That's gonna be another episode. Could get myself into a real pickle here, but I think it'll be okay. I have the whole wiring diagram factory from KTM written out, and I have built a couple of wiring harnesses in my day, so it shouldn't be a problem. But we'll see. Anyway, see you on next episode.